Okay, welcome everybody to our Tuesday, April 22nd, 2025 Board of Education regular business meeting. May I please have a motion to call the meeting to order? So moved, Linda. Second, Maria. All in favor? Aye. Sorry, it's just the four of us tonight, so we're going to work as best we can. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, and with that, can I have a motion to approve tonight's agenda? So move, Maria. Second, Linda. All in favor? Aye. And we welcome our student liaison tonight. Not just you. Welcome, Jocelyn.
You win at rock, paper,
You look
scissors.
gorgeous tonight, by the way.
Welcome back from spring break. Sorry, Naya couldn't be here. She texted me 7th block. She's not feeling well. And I didn't have time to write a section for her, but she wishes she could be here. So, yeah, I hope everyone had a good break. I got my wisdom teeth out, so I'm a lot less wise. And I'm also committed to college. I am going to University at Buffalo for business administration.
Hey,
I'm very excited. Thank you. I'm very excited. It's like a huge relief. Now I just have like AP's story about, and then I'm done. So from a music standpoint, Legally Blonde just wrapped up last month. We sold out one of the shows, and we made about $30,000 in ticket sales alone. Yeah, I run the book, so I got all the numbers. We wanted to thank everyone who made it such an amazing experience, like the cast, crew, pit, and audience. It ended my 4-year career as stage manager, but I'm glad that it was my last show there. The jazz band and ensemble at Thomas got a master class with Aaron Sable of Ithaca College and Cornell University. And that master class led to the combined concert with Spry, Schrader, Willink, and Thomas, and it was a fun night full of jazz music. Tonight is the department recital at 7. That's why I'm dressed up. I have to go to that after. And you'll see solo performances from band, orchestra, and vocals, which is very exciting. And finally, from music, the select choir got to perform at Innovation Theater over break for a jazz concert honoring Burt Bacharach, and all the proceeds from the concert went to Rochester City School District music programs, which is really cool. The Shakespeare Club just got up and running by Mr. Stutzel, and they've started rehearsing and practicing for the annual Shakespeare in the Park competition in June. And this year it's actually pretty popular. There were 11 people there, I heard. So that's good, because last year there were 2. So, yeah. There was a staff art show in the library to show students how their teachers have continued in art over their careers and how far they can go with it as a hobby, which is pretty cool. I don't have anything from sports. Softball went to Myrtle Beach over break to compete with a couple of teams, and I heard that one of the teams beat them 26-2, and they were one of the best teams in the country. I'm going off script here. Earth Week is this week because today's Earth Day, and we have Clash of Cans, I think, and they had a school cleanup yesterday in the woods in between Willink and Thomas, which is really cool. And that's all I got. Thank you guys so much.
And congratulations.
Thank you so much.
All right, and we have Joan from WTA. Joan and guest.
I know. Lori, how are you?
Hello, you guys. They do such a wonderful job, whether there's one or all 4 of them are here. They're awesome. Yes, I'm bringing somebody every month now.
We love it.
It's a new thing.
Oh, I'm the first one? The first special guest?
I know.
The polar plungers might have come.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And these guys all committed. at the end of that meeting to
Oh, to
the
do it next
polo
year?
punch next
Okay.
I don't remember that.
Yeah,
I have
so
not,
I do.
so.
I remember there was
I made a
chocolate
deal.
involved. And you have reminders set in your phone.
Sure.
All right, Ari's going to captain the owl team. He doesn't know that yet. All right, on a more serious note, but I am doing a little bit different, you guys. I am going to do UPK through 12, and then I'm going to let our master wonderful teacher speak over here on behalf of other things our WTA members are doing. UPK through our goal and our OWL programs right through. Some of those WTA highlights include the finding of the Adventure Club, the training more therapy dogs to have them across district, across grade levels, supporting students' transition from each step of their nice, beautiful educational lives of UPK into kindergarten, into middle school, into high school, and beyond. Supporting students' daily check-in and check-out buddies continues to happen, whether it's virtual or in person each morning. Attending student activities, not only inside but outside, not only for their own children, but for staff's children and for children who are sitting in front of them. That includes the PTSA Glow Up Dance, gymnastics competition, soccer, and Little League games. Facilitating student-run morning shows that are pretty much cross grade levels and cross schools across the district. Developing bus buddy lessons. Meeting virtually with AP students on Lunar New Year's Day to go over coding conflicts. Librarians collaborating with teachers for written assignments, social studies projects, history, and National Women's Month. Organizing authors' visits and developing creative opportunities for students in a variety of art mediums, music mediums, as well as theatrical. Our thank you section. I'm going to continue with thank yous that people have gotten from parents. Thank you. Thank you for all your help and support in math these past years. It was so thoughtful for we are so thankful for teachers like you. With gratitude. WTA member has provided a supportive and caring environment for our son and daughter as they travel life as a teenager, and not only help them overcome the stresses in high school, but they also found a place to feel completely welcome and comfortable. Our child truly enjoys the time he has spent with you. He has sparked a deeper interest in art, which none of us in his family saw even coming. Thank you for embracing the whole person, not only for my child, for the many that you do. It is amazing what you do for someone else. Also from parents, you put so many hours, time, dedication into our helping our son, way beyond what is required or expected, and we want you to know we are truly grateful. To be a teacher, to set the butterfly effect in motion, and as a teacher, you don't always get to see the ripples into the future. We hope that someday you will receive a card from our child to let you know what he or she has become. That every day you plant seeds, we promise there will be a time when they flourish in the future, even if you never get to truly see it. Another one from a parent, and then some from kids. She may have shared she attended the Leadership Institute throughout the year with you. You opened her eyes to the opportunities that were out there without forcing her to take care of and apply for them, but just set an amazing opportunity in front of her. Thank you again for staying abreast of these opportunities, being intentional to knowing your students, and for sharing the relevant, meaningful information. It's up to students and parents to take action, but you made us aware of so many other things we weren't, and teachers that were purposeful and caring as you will always be thankful for. Now from students. So good. Thank you for being Thank you so much for being a beacon of light these past 2 years. You are an amazing teachers whose humorous stories always manage to put a smile on everyone's face. Your support played a significant role in my acceptance and significance to applying, and we both know it. I just want to express my gratitude to you. I'll have to stop by sometime to say hello, maybe with some red velvet cookies. I'd write more, but I ran out of time. I really enjoyed the atmosphere and energy throughout the year. I will miss your class. So those are some of the thank yous you should be aware of that WTA members have received. And I'm going to hand it over to Lori LaRocco.
Joan asked me to take a few minutes to highlight the New York State Master Teacher Program and the impact that it's had here on Webster. So for those of you that don't know, the New York State Master Teacher Program recognizes outstanding STEM educators, those who not only demonstrate excellence in the classroom, but also commit to growing professionally and supporting their colleagues and students. The program brings together some of the most dedicated and innovative STEM educators from across the state. Master teachers commit to 4 years of ongoing professional development, collaborate across districts and disciplines, and serve as leaders in advancing STEM education. After the 4 years, we become Master Teacher Emeritus and are still invited to actively participate in the professional growth and leadership opportunities. I'm proud to share that 18 educators from Webster have been selected to be a part of this prestigious program since it first began in 2013, either as current members or as emeritus. This group includes 8 from our math department, 5 from science, 3 from technology, and they just opened the program up to elementary teachers, and we already have 2 elementary teachers that have been accepted. These teachers represent both Schrader and Thomas High Schools, Spry Middle School, and DeWitt and Plank South Elementary, along with our Director of Business and Mathematics. Our participation in the program enriches not only our own classrooms, but our entire district. We've been able to bring back innovative teaching strategies, lead professional development, mentor new teachers, and help shape curriculum with a future-focused mindset. A few of the recent workshops include titles such as Engaging a Three-Dimensional Science Lesson, Making Thinking Visible Through Modeling, Engaging Students in STEM Exploration, The Teenage Brain, What are the 5 main reasons we teach mathematics, and Building a Thinking Classroom. Being a part of the Master Teacher Program is a testament to the dedication, passion, and commitment to educational excellence, and it directly benefits our students and our schools every day. We are incredibly fortunate to have a strong group of passionate, dedicated educators here in Webster, and we are grateful for the district's continued support of the work that we do. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Lori. That is outstanding. It is, when you think about it, 19, and it's a huge number. I think in some other districts, it's definitely not even close to that. So well done to all of our educators that are involved in that, and thank you very much for you being one, too. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks, Jody. All right. I'm going to ask 3 people, 3 friends, Brian, Ari, and Mark, if you guys would make your way up. I'm going to begin my report, and I'll turn it over to you guys in just a second here. All right, so I'm going to start my report tonight by sharing some exciting student accomplishments as well. We'll keep that theme going. So our Thomas and Schrader speech and debate teams both had amazing results from the state competition earlier this month. Thomas qualified 6 competitors to the state championship tournament this year. GSC performed in declamation and finished 7th in the state. And Carson S., in her first year of Lincoln Douglas debate, finished as a state finalist. Schrader's team also found success at the state competition as Sam O. was dramatic interpretation state champion, which is phenomenal. And Matthew G. also did very well and placed 6th in the finals. So there were 71 schools and 1,026 competitors at the state tournament this year. And this was a huge accomplishment for Webster students, and we are so proud of them, and we will continue to root for them as they move on to national competitions in Chicago in May. So great job to our speech and debate teams. And I also just want to give a shout out to our advisors. They are phenomenal, and both Thomas and Schrader, they do such a great job with our kids. So next, I'm thrilled to share an exciting upcoming event for our school community. The Schrader Theater Company is eager to announce their production of the Cafe Mocha Murders. Not only are they offering the public performances at Webster Schrader High School Thursday through Saturday, March, I believe it's April, it's actually April 30th. Is that the date it is? I think I have the date wrong here on this. Right, but that's the next part here. And they are also offering the special event for so it's May 1st through the 3rd. Yes. That's what's going on. Okay, great. Because our senior citizens date is April 30th. And we're hoping that our senior residents can join us at Webster Schrader High School for a delightful morning starting at 9:15 a.m., featuring light refreshments and a dedicated performance of the Cafe Mocha Murders just for them. And the show will run from 10 a.m. until 11:30 a.m. So again, that is April 30th. It's next Wednesday. And then the rest of the productions are Thursday, Friday, Saturday, May 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. So that ends my report for now, but it's my honor to turn things over to this esteemed panel here of our administrative team that's going to talk to us a little bit about elementary. Mr. Schickel, the principal from DeWitt. Ari Hilaris, who is our principal, our director of Owl High School, and he's going to talk a little bit about secondary. And then our director of information technology, Brian Zimmer, and he will talk to us a little bit about some of the things that are going on in tech. I'll turn it over to Mark first, if we could start with our elementary.
Awesome, thank you. So honored for the opportunity to talk with you all. This is kind of the culmination, our presentation is culmination, as we always have, as the board gets to visit us. And really, it's really a month-long fun trip for DeWitt and for our elementary schools to really present the amazing things that are going on. And really what you're going to see is in our presentation is a spotlight on literacy, a lot of information about the literacy that's going on, because it's been such a culmination of the work we've been doing all year. There's a lot of fun, there's a lot of exciting, there's a lot of engaging that's been going on throughout the year, and this month we've really culminated in what you're going to see up top. Click. Yes, sir. So we really wanted to focus in on that goal number one, providing all students that knowledge and skills necessary, and that focus on spotlight on literacy. And actually our board members are going to start seeing themselves up there because they interacted with our students in a fun and engaging way as we think about it, and really focusing in on the love of learning and the love of literacy. So one of the things we did at our school is we really wanted to prioritize children's literacy, and we wanted to culminate that fascination of our love for books, but we also wanted our teachers to be able to really connect around that. So in our school, we really want to focus, and in all our schools, is really how do our teachers connect, how do they interact, how do we create that sense of community? And we felt like books are a great way, because we all love books. We all love literacy, we all love those children's books. So one of the first things we did is we really focused on what our BLT likes to talk about is collisions. How can we get our teachers talking to each other and really interacting and get to know each other in a personal way? And what better than books? We teach it, we learn it, and we've grown up in it. And teachers love books and those children's books. So one of the things we asked our teachers to do is really pick out what's your favorite book? What's a book that really brings back memories? It might not be the best book, but it's the book that really has memories for you and really connects to you. So every teacher in our building and beyond that, our staff, beyond that, our secretaries, our aides, our school nurse actually pulled out what is their favorite book, and we had a day where we sat down and really talked about that book and what is it, what are the memories, what are the joys that you get from that book. That's our collisions part of that. And then we advertise that, because what we want to do is we want not only to share that with our staff, but to share it with our students and really entice our students into learning about their role models, their teachers, and what they love, and really we want them to emulate that. So we want to bring that in, and we also want to encourage them to see maybe some books that they never had seen before and really engage in new genres, new ideas, and new thoughts. So we advertise that. So each one of our teachers created what you see up there is a document which talks about why they love that book, a picture of them with their book, and then the reaction. So you can see up in the right corner at the front of our building, we took all those pictures that our teachers made and put them up there, and what a showstopper. Children walking through the door. Guys, there's nothing better than to love literacy and see your children loving that too. Oh, Mr. Schachtel, there's your book. Yes, I had a book, but the book I chose was something that I loved as a child. My mother would read it to me, and it's that fascination. It emulates, it bubbles up the passion for reading. So we hope that kids would see and want to be just like that and really role models. And then we would advertise that in the library. So when they're in the library now, they're saying, oh, this teacher really loved that book. You should check that out. You might want to try that. So it encourages our children to read, because in the end, once a child can read, you get out of their way and you let them read. So the more they read, the more books they want, the better reader they become. So it's one of the reasons we did this. Now, you'll see on the next page, we encouraged our board members who were part of our presentation to do the same. So Jeff and we had a bunch of people. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Jeff, Linda, and Carole all took part in this. And you can see the books they have. The Giving Tree. We have, what was it? Can I Be a Dog? Can I Be Your Dog? For Linda. And then Jeff picked Jake Goes Peanuts. Fun books. But we wanted them to be able to do the same and feel that feeling and share that out with our staff. And then as you go to the next page, well, Mr. Neenan and Mrs. Land had to do the same. And we had Axel Annie, and we had Hippos Go Berserk. Of course, Hippo Goes Berserk. But we wanted to really encourage that for beyond that, just really to understand and see the process that we went through and the value of a good book and how that encourages others. So then our next step was then, well, if our board is coming over, maybe they could take the time to share that with students. So in the next page, you're going to see, look at our kids. They are so engaged. So thank you to our board members who could participate along with Aaron and Brian, and they could read those books to the children. And just look at the children. Look at their view. I didn't schedule that. I didn't set that up. They were engaged, and that's what literacy and books do for children. And that's what we hope. We want that passion for our children. We want to encourage that and grow that. I love the bottom right corner there. Look at Mr. Neenan. Look at the young lady who is. You must be an amazing storyteller, Brian, because look at that. She's like veering around to get a good look at that book.
I know.
She's climbing on the table to see that. No, I just thought that picture was great because it shows the passion that our children have for it and what it can do and grow them. And our hope and our desire is to continue that passion for literacy. And speaking of passion for literacy, on our next slide, what you're going to see is something that we started at DeWitt that I'm really proud of that has extended beyond DeWitt. It's called March Book Madness. It is emulated after, as you probably know, the March Madness. And I had to look this up because it used to be 64, but it's now 68 basketball teams that do March Madness. Well, we have March Book Madness. And what we do currently is we're trying to, again, expose kids to different types of genres, characters, and creators, and really foster that love of learning. Our librarian, Kim Shabeta, has really done a great job of really trying to emulate the passion and enjoyment for that. And we have 8 books. So if you look at that next page, you're going to see what happens is if we choose 8 interesting topics, and she has a variety of topics. She really tries to create a whole bunch of different genres for children so they see that. And then what happens is over the course of time is kids vote for books. So every child in our building is getting a shared experience. Every child is reading this book and really getting something to talk about. And when you think about that, it provides them a rich vocabulary, but it also gives them a common experience that they can share with their friends. And so it starts off with 8, it goes down to 4, and then 2. And then that last week was fun because I got to go into the lunchroom and read for all the children. And by that point, these kids have heard this book so much, the fluency they had. They're finishing my sentences as I read, and specifically for the book that won. And I'm going to read it out. The winner for us was the book that almost rhymed. And it's a really cool book because it's almost rhyming because the author takes typical conversation and changes the rhyme and changes it so it doesn't rhyme anymore. And the kids are reading it out to me. So it was really nice. It's really a great experience. And what I love about this is it's built beyond our school and it's gone beyond us. And Plank North State Road and Plank South have adopted this as another way to encourage and grow the learning and their reading in their school. So really cool tradition that's grown on and it continues to grow, and it's exciting for our schools. And that last page and last thing I'm going to share with you, when our board came over, we wanted to really show what does CKLA look like? Like, you've invested so much time, so much money, so much thought into this program. What does it look like? So we had our students presenting to the board, and what I will tell you is they did an amazing job. We have a student there reading a vignette. We have students who presented with a PowerPoint presentation, and then another student who read her essay for the board and for other students. Really, the complexity, the rigor, the texture, the text clarity of message, all of that was very fascinating. And it's just great to see the value of the work they're doing and the hard work paying off. And they were so proud. That's what's great about it. The kids are so proud to show off what they've learned. They're proud of the schoolwork they've done. That's what makes elementary school so amazing, and what we got to see on that day. And that last page, I want to share this because this is what you should be seeing across our schools as you walk down the hallways. The great work our students are doing. So I had 3 students that I just picked these off, and these are just randomly picked. These are presentations of the work they're doing. Look at the topics: space travel, Thomas Edison, and then the American Revolution. It's rigorous, guys. The work they're doing in our schools is rigorous, and CKLA has done a great job. The work that our teachers have done with that curriculum to grow that, you could see the work they're doing. I love the one in the middle. That what they did was, it's not torn up, it's torn on purpose. It's really, they discolor the paper so they can make it look old and antique. So they're making it more than just a writing piece, right? When you can turn it around and share it with others, it makes it much more fascinating for you and for others. So that's the great work going on in the elementary schools, and we're very proud of it.
Thank you very much, and it was a wonderful trip over to DeWitt, as you said. It was great. Thanks so much, Mark, for hosting us. All right, we'll turn things over now to Ari. Ari, if you want to talk to us a little bit about the secondary, that'd be great.
Sorry, I couldn't help you.
All right, good evening, everyone. Thanks for having me here. So again, I'm Ari. I'm from Owl High School at Webster Thomas, and I'm here to share secondary news from all our programs. So starting with Willink. Willink April is a continuation of great music in our schools. The jazz band students participated in a workshop with guest jazz artist from Ithaca College, Aaron Stable. They also performed a concert with Aaron and the Thomas High School jazz groups the following day. The student-run play, The Wizard of Oz, was an outstanding show. Congrats to our 8th grade directors.
That's great.
At Spry, March was a month where students really shined. Student council put their all into Spirit Week and a charity basketball game, raising an amazing $2,400 for the Webster Hope House, and proudly handed over the check before break. A huge shout out to the Science Olympiad team who competed at states, and a special congrats to Liam and Taylor. They impressed all by winning 2nd place in air trajectory. And speaking of amazing performances, the incredible Spry vocal groups, Soundwave 6 and Soundwave 7-8, both hit it out of the park, earning gold at the NYSSMA Festival. Over at Schrader, the National Honor Society held a book fair with our Schrader UPK class. Our Schrader staff and students always enjoy the opportunity to work with our young warriors in promoting literacy with a book fair. Our Schrader scholars also had the opportunity to compete in several academic competitions recently. Our Future Business Leaders of America group competed in states. We also had top 10 finishers in state championship speech and debate competition, with first place going to Sam O. Pictured on the bottom left is our Shark Tank winners. And Schrader also celebrated Asian American and Pacific Islander Month with RIT's Wadeco Drum Group. Thomas Titans got outside last month to help with conservation efforts right on our Thomas property. Earth science classes along with Earth Club helped plant approximately 200 shrubs and 200 trees along Shipbuilders Creek to help battle erosion, increase wildlife habitat, and protect water quality. It's great to find hands-on opportunities for our high school students to increase their understanding of concepts learned in the classroom. Thomas Model UN also finished up another successful season last month, with several students winning honors at their final conference at St. John Fisher. Thomas Titans also participated in Junior Achievement Stock Market Challenge in early April. 2 Thomas teams finished 1st and 2nd in this 90-day competition against 4 other districts. At the end of March, a group of Titans participated in the Young Entrepreneurs Academy Investor Panel, with all 8 of our young entrepreneurs being awarded investments to help grow their own business. At Goal, our annual tradition of Family Week, the week before spring break, was creative, interesting, and fun. We look forward with anticipation to this week every year, because not only do we enjoy ourselves and each other's companies, but we know that when we return from break, that summer is right around the bend. On Tuesday, it was sports band wear with RIT Taco drums and tie-dyeing t-shirts. On Wednesday, it was Dress Like a Teacher Day and Food Delivery Day, where our students were encouraged to have family members and friends join us for lunch. On Thursday, it was Beach Hawaiian Day, and Mrs. Safe made lasagna for students and staff. On Friday, to round out the week, we wore gold gear, tie-dye, and participated in a full day of activities and fun. We started with a pancake breakfast, then went to Hot Shots for an afternoon of volleyball, basketball, and bonding. Pizza for lunch, an egg hunt, and last but certainly not least, students were selected to throw a pie in Mr. Close's face. We're looking forward to the final quarter of the school year and ending the year strong.
That's great.
I think the pie is on the right.
Yeah, exactly. Let's hope.
At Owl Middle continues to live the Board of Education goals daily. As a team, the teachers have been working hard to increase student engagement while maintaining high expectations for all so that students can stay on grade level. Teachers and TAs have been working tirelessly to provide an individualized learning experience for students who need enrichment and/or intervention. We've recently created a survey to gather student voice with respect to our morning circles. Also, all of our field trips, Here You See a Classroom at Lollipop Farm, were voted on by our students. We're lucky to have such a great group of students in our program, and we could not do what we do without the involvement of the families. Owl is a great place to be. And last but not least is my program, Owl High School at Webster Thomas High School. So Owl High continues to look for new opportunities to integrate and find new academic opportunities with their Thomas peers. Our students continue to enjoy our expanding elective options, including photography, which is new to the program this year. And Ms. Barnabas is actually a teacher for that. I don't know if she's still around, but thanks to Ms. Barnabas for taking on that opportunity. Our students have also had increased opportunities to integrate in PE, joining larger classes for hockey and bowling. We also continue to look for opportunities extracurricular, including one of our sophomore students who joined the flag football team this month. Our students are looking forward to participating in the Thomas Trades and Job Fair as Owl High continues to bolster their vocational opportunities for juniors and seniors. Finally, we are proud of our senior Toby, who was Titan of the Month last month for all seniors in Thomas.
All right. Thank you
guys.
very much. Great updates from the secondary. All right, we'll turn it over now to Mr. Zimmer for some tech updates.
Excellent. So thanks for having technology here tonight. We're super excited to share some three major areas that we've been working on over the last few months. One of the things that's exciting, and this is our coming up to our fourth cycle of our Chromebook and iPad refreshes. We've been doing this since 2016. And it's exciting. We were one of the first districts in Monroe County as well as throughout New York State. Thanks to much of your support from the board and from the finance team that we're able to continue this program in order to make sure that our kids have the latest and greatest. So this summer, we're going to be doing our Chromebook update and deployment for our 6th through 12th graders the week of August 18th through the 21st at Willink. And then all of our elementary friends in grades 2 through 5, we'll get them in their classroom. The iPads will also be deployed for our friends for when they come back in the beginning of the year for UPK to 1. Super excited about where we're going. All of our devices this year, as we've done in the last 3 cycles, have been picked by our students. So we have a bunch of high school students that go through in our WTI program and put the devices through the test to make sure that they're everything that we're hopeful for. And it's really been a nice thing where the kids make decisions on what they recommend for us. This year they recommended an extended battery life as well as some additional memory to allow them to have some flexibility based on the type of programming that we're continuing to do. So kids have been great. Our WTI program continues to flourish, and the kids, we're looking forward to hiring about 14 this summer to help us get all the devices ready. So they do a lot of the great work to make sure that the students, their colleagues, and their classmates are well ready to go for the start of the school year. One of the big areas that we continue to focus on as a district is cybersecurity. As all of you know, our landscape in cybersecurity continues to change at a rapid pace. One of them keeps me up many, many nights, long nights, thinking about it, thinking about all the changes that happen, thinking about all the potential risks and concerns that we could have. Our current company that we work with, Arctic Wolf, is doing a phenomenal job to keep us secure. They've done a great thing to notify us when there's ever any potential risk. We do have risks that occur all the time, whether it's a computer that goes out of our environment that might be in another country, whether it's an email that gets opened up, that's not necessarily appropriate. So they continue to do everything for us on a 24/7 basis and, to mitigate any of those potential risks. And it's been working out very, very well for us. One of the other areas that we focus a lot is our phishing testing, which occurs every 2 weeks for all of our staff and throughout the district. Some of the emails are getting crazier. The things that we start to see, people impersonate other emails. In a meeting a couple weeks ago, Mr. Neenan's phone was impersonated with where it looked like he was calling himself. And it's happening more and more and more. One of the things that I'm super proud of about our staff and our system is our phishing prone rate is 1.7%. The industry standard is 2.9. So as a system, we're doing very, very well. And the continued approach where if someone is not successful at one of those phishing attempts or phishing practices, we send them a short training video that they get to watch if they choose to do so. And we've been getting a lot of positive feedback that it's helping them not only from a professional standpoint, but also a personal standpoint. So my goal is I don't want somebody to have this not only happen on a school level, but I also don't want them to, when they're out and working on a home computer or on their home banking, to have the same type of experience where they don't have the protections in place like we do at school. So we're trying to make this an overall encompassing approach to make sure that everybody's as safe and secure as possible. One of the new things for us as far as New York State, our data approach is we have joined the Student Data Privacy Consortium with all of the other districts, which means all of our software is now vetted through a standardized system that we're connected to through many states throughout the Northeast. Gives us a lot of flexibility. They do a lot of the work, and one of the best pieces, it's not Brian Zimmer having to say no, it's a company. And so, all of the approaches go through council, all of the contracts get reviewed by a council, not only of New York State attorneys, but also anyone that's involved in this consortium. It just gives us a lot more leverage in what we do, on a daily basis for that. So it's been working well so far, and we're going to be transitioning to year 2 of it coming up shortly. One of the last things that is exciting for us is working on a Windows 11 transition. Windows 10 becomes end of life and it is not supported in October of 2025. So the tech team has been working diligently to make sure that we get all of our devices up to speed, ready to go. For the board members, we will need to collect your devices probably in the next few weeks. It'll take about an hour for us to just do a quick update, and then we'll get them back to you. We'll schedule that with Heather, but we'll make sure we communicate that, and it'll be a real quick process. The only thing that has to happen is your devices have to be on our network, so we need to do that while they're here. And I'd rather not do it during a board meeting and then have you guys run into a problem during the board meeting or after the board meeting. So the transition's been going really well. We're about 96 to 97% done with all of our laptops. Very seamless process, but we will need to do yours shortly. I'm super proud of the work of the tech team because this has been a very big push, and one of the things that I'm super proud of with the tech team is they've been able to do this where it's not impacting instruction. So the install is happening while teachers are teaching, staff members continue to work, and what'll happen is they'll get a prompt that says you need to restart. And hopefully none of you have gotten that so far from the board level. If you do, just click restart while you're on the network. And then when you restart your computer, Windows 11 will be there. It's been a great lift for our team. Very seamless. I'm super proud of the work that they've done. So those are the big updates from a tech perspective. One of the things that we also wanted to share from Neil Flood and my perspective as well is we are working with the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, the local town agencies, Webster Police, where we're going to be replicating a school-wide emergency drill on Thursday, June 19th. Very similar to what we did back in 2019. We're going to be doing a large-scale drill to not only test all of our school-wide approaches of what we do to keep our kids and staff safe, but we're also going to be testing the systems, the police systems, the fire department systems, as well as the ambulance systems. On that day, Publishers Parkway will be closed from Calvary Automation down to Hard Road. We'll be communicating that with all of any residents. There will be some public information that goes out from our side as well as Webster Police and the Monroe County Sheriff's to make sure everybody's aware of this. There will be no students that are involved in this. It's all, we're going to be asking for volunteers, staff volunteers for a few hours that day. And really what we're hoping to do is take any of the information that we learn and continue to build our systems and making sure that all of our practices and protocols that we have in place are readily available in the instance that we ever need to use these. So we're going to really test all of the things we've done since our last drill and see, how great things are and, make suggestions for how we can continue to improve. If you have any questions or if you'd like to hear more about that, just let Neil or I know and we'd be more than happy to share some more information.
Thank you so much, Brian. I appreciate that. And just so everyone knows about that date, it's a date that students are not in session. And so we'll be able to do that. That's why we can do it there at Willington. My kudos to Mr. Zimmer, Mr. Flood, Mr. Hurley, Chief Kohlmeyer, and all of those that are involved in this, because this is something that is fairly unique. It's not something that every school district in our area does, but in conjunction and doesn't have necessarily those partnerships and relationships with a lot of these entities, which it's meant to train and it's meant to help us make our system more secure and save lives in the end. So much appreciated. I do want to make one other comment. If you want to go back a slide, Brian, just on the Ed Law 2D. We always talk about that Ed Law 2D compliance consortium as something that's really beneficial to us from our perspective, but I think oftentimes it gets overlooked that it's actually a good thing for the businesses as well. It should, in theory, make it a much easier situation for those that want to do business with school districts in New York State. It's a one-stop shopping position now, which actually has been helpful in that regard as well. So always good to think about that. Gentlemen, thank you very much for your presentation and definitely for your leadership. Thank you guys very much and have a great night. All right, I am going to ask Mrs. Land to actually go through who our next guests are, but before they do, and as they're making their way up, if our three guests could make their way up to the stage, I'm going to read, and I want to draw our board's attention to board goal number 1, bullet number 4, which is on your blue sheets that are there in front of you. And the goal states, apply data gathered through professional learning communities, our PLCs, cycle to strengthen pedagogy and ensure greater consistency within and across curricula. And with that in mind, and with data in mind, I'm now going to turn things over to Mrs. Land to introduce our wonderful, amazing team that is here tonight and a little bit about what they're talking about.
Thanks, Mr. Neenan. So it's my pleasure to introduce this dynamic trio who's going to talk to us a little bit about data tonight. And I hope they leave you wanting more, because I think it's going to be a pretty quick overview. But data has really permeated a lot of the work that we do across our academic program. So you're going to hear about how our elementary program is really looking at data and making decisions based on the data that we're collecting. So I will introduce Chris Sloan, who's our interim director of elementary, Kate Hessla, who's our principal at Schlegel, and Laura Ballou, who's our principal at Clem North. Take it away.
Thank you. This evening, I just wanted to make sure that I supported both Kate and Laura, but also make sure that you introduce myself, since I've been here, I think, since September and not met you all. But the work that, I also want to draw attention to the work that the teachers and the principals and all of the literacy specialists, the TOSAs have done in this tremendous lift of this new curriculum. And it has been a lot of work. No one is denying that. But it's all been work in which I think you're going to see benefit over the next few years with students in an unbelievable amount of progress. They've seen that already this year. CKLA is a really solid program. The intervention system is a solid intervention program. It gives us great data. And I think it's very important that all of you at the board know just the amount of work that, especially in those classrooms, that people are doing to make this all come to fruition. And a shout out to the principals and their leadership, but a shout out to the TOSAs. The TOSAs, that team of 7, are the most collaborative team I have ever worked with, and that is 42 years for me in education this year. And they are just amazing. And that work, along with the plan that Francine Leggett has laid out over the last 3 years going into this, I tell you, is a real credit to what you believe in as a district. And I can't say how much pride I see in what the work you're leading. So congrats to you, because it's really stellar work. And now I'll turn it over to the 2 data queens who they like their data, so it's really good stuff.
Yeah. Thanks, Chris. Yep. Good evening, everyone. We're excited and proud to share with you tonight a story of how our elementary schools have evolved in our capacity to use literacy data to drive instruction. For many years, we have inserted data days into our calendar as a way to ensure that we have time and space to discuss our students' progress. This process has varied over the years, and we have recently taken some significant steps to reinvigorate this work in alignment with our layered literacy goals. So that's what we're going to be sharing with you this evening.
Good evening, everyone. So we'll start by highlighting some of our past practices involving that idea of data days. In the past, we would typically come together in our building level teams 3 times each year to look at our data. And this might have involved looking at data from the NWEA assessments, our other measures of foundational literacy skills, and the process did vary across each building. In order to organize our data into meaningful displays across a grade level, in the past we would typically need to assemble a spreadsheet with all those data points, insert some kind of color coding like you see on the screen, sort it according to which assessment we wanted to look at first or how we wanted to analyze it. And the other piece that was part of assembling the data was that our foundational literacy assessments were typically scored by hand. So they needed to be entered into the spreadsheets manually or possibly through a process of bubbling in the students' answers and then scanning them and uploading them. And sometimes we wouldn't have all the data assembled into those spreadsheets until a few weeks after it was initially gathered. So the spreadsheets would become pretty complex with many columns by the end of the year. And in order to see if students were progressing towards those grade level expectations, we would have to scan across these several columns, maybe display it on one big screen that everyone was looking at in a room together. And it was difficult to aggregate that data across, all of that information across grade levels. So, for example, in order to determine the number or the percentage of students that were actually at grade level at a particular grade level, we might need to put in different formula, and it was just a cumbersome process, which we lived with for a lot of years. Our efforts to compile and represent the information were often superseding our ability to really analyze and use it. So we were looking at old data often and left with some unanswered questions about where to go next with students instructionally.
A few years back, our elementary leadership team had the opportunity to attend a leadership conference where we learned about a concept that was new to us. The speakers shared that as educators, we should be learning scientists, non-emotionally reacting to data in real time. And as Kate was just explaining, our practices, our former practices, we weren't able to react to real-time data because it was taking us so long to compile all the data that by the time we were reacting to it, it was often what we would now consider old data. Learning scientists need to understand where they are, the starting point, in order to make a thoughtful decision about where to go next. Learning scientists use research-based practices based on the science of reading to inform their instructional decisions. Learning scientists analyze the impact of the learning process and make adjustments based on student performance. And as you're going to see on our next slide, which I'm excited to show to you in a moment, our process for data collection and analysis has changed. And we now have the ability to truly be learning scientists at all levels, at the district level, building, at our PLCs, and also as individuals looking at data.
So like Laura said, our capacity to be those learning scientists has grown tremendously this year, thanks to the implementation of our new M-Class data system. So we are still giving most assessments 3 times a year to all students. That hasn't changed. But now we are also monitoring progress for students who are not at grade level several other times between those benchmark periods. The assessments themselves are given using the computer, so no need for hand scoring or manual inputting of data anymore. And the tools that are embedded within the program allow us to streamline that process as well. So as you can see up on the screen, that student C has tested out of a few skills, and so that process is a bit shorter if it doesn't need to be for certain students who have achieved the expectation already. The class summary report at the top there quickly shows us that percentage of students performing at or below or above grade level for each cohort. And then down at the bottom there, possibly one of the most beneficial elements that we didn't have before is the individual graphing of the student progress. So you can see in that example that we're now able to look specifically at those incremental gains that a student makes and determine as a team if we might need to change something about their program or their intervention to increase that rate of progress. So finally, teachers are also able to access that information and discuss it in their PLC groups and in student problem-solving team meetings. Everyone has the access, and the information is always up to date. So there's no longer that need to confine the conversations to that data day event, but rather they're referenced and analyzed in an ongoing fashion, whenever they're needed. Individual teachers have that information at their fingertips, which allows them to analyze it for those individual students in their class. And they can make the determinations based on their data, but also their knowledge of letters, professional learning that we've been engaged in, about what plan they need to make to go, where to go next instructionally.
Mm-hmm. And just looking at those data charts on the top, it says class summary, but as principals, as leaders, we can look at it classes, we can look at it grade levels, we can look school to school, we can disaggregate the data in so many different various ways, which is so helpful. Depending on what group we're sitting at the table with and how we're looking at data, we can look at this data in so many different ways, and it's all done for us, which is awesome. Okay. So new this year as well, we are able to have our first district level data day discussion involving all of our administrators and instructional TOSAs. In the past, this was challenging based on various factors, some of which we've already mentioned. As you know, and as you've learned tonight, each school had varying approaches to assessment and timelines for compiling the data, and often, sometimes even the assessments were differing what we were using. As a result, there was a limited capacity to compare across schools. It was really hard. We weren't necessarily comparing the same thing at the same time. If you're looking at this graph, each column on the slide represents the growth made between fall and winter at our 7 elementary schools. The first blue dot represents the percentage of students that were proficient at the beginning of the school year, and the orange dot represents the percentage of students proficient in the middle of the school year. As you can see, the percentages of students that are proficient has grown for each group, for each school, and we attribute this growth to our new consistent Tier 1 curriculum, which is CKLA, the strengthening of our teachers' knowledge about evidence-based practices through the letters professional development that they've all been a part of, as well as our increased capacity to respond to data in real time.
So in a few short weeks, we'll administer our third set of assessments and add that third dot to these graphs. And we're very hopeful that we'll continue to see that upward trend. And we're grateful for the support of the board and our district leadership in sustaining this work moving forward. So thank you so much. Do you have questions for us?
Yeah, thanks. Do you have any questions?
Chris, thank you. You came in and you kept us moving, this bus moving forward, and we couldn't have done it without you. So we appreciate it. My other comment is we actually in the fall got to see one of the sitting in the conference room, all of the TOSAs sitting there. It truly was like the war room. There was this screen and everybody was talking and it was moving in real time. It was fascinating, and it blew Carole, our resident ELA guru, away. And I wish she was here. She unfortunately is not. But she would say, bravo to all of you, and thank you. This is the stuff that we love to see, and I can't wait for the third dot. So thank you for all the hard work.
I know, yes, exactly. I would echo that. I would echo it first for Chris. Thank you so much, bringing your 42 years of wisdom here to help us out with this process and jumping in and just doing so much. We really appreciate that. And to Kate and Laura, oh my goodness, thank you guys both for being leaders in your PLC as well, and for leading our being the co-directors of elementary right now. And thank you guys so much for your enthusiasm. Like that data science and that enthusiasm component to all of this is what drives everything in our system. And I think kudos to our teachers for believing in that, and kudos for our teachers for believing in this and believing in the kids, and for their input on making this our curriculum and getting the training through letters, like you said, too. So it's all a great journey. Thank you guys very much. All right, nice job. The motion on that one.
Would that kind of a motion to approve the instruction report as presented? So moved. Thank you. Second. All in favor? Aye.
Great.
Thank you.
Right.
On to board business. I apologize. I'm fighting a migraine, and so I'm a little,
Yep.
I'm struggling a little, but
We're
we
here
have
for
to
you.
have 4, so I'm gonna push through it. If we have to adjourn, we are still doing that public speaking. We will still take care of all of that. We just may have to adjourn because if I have to step out, we have to end the meetings with 4 people. But we will
Keep
have
it
it,
going.
keep
Yep.
it
We'll keep
going.
going.
Yep.
Just gonna try to push through.
No, no,
Okay, thank you, sorry.
nope.
You-
We gotta wait.
Oh, we gotta wait.
Sorry. We do, you're right. We have to
Okay.
wait for
Is there
Michele.
anything, we can't. Yep,
It's the
okay.
lights, it's fine.
We'll wait
Fine.
and pause.
I'm sorry.
Wait for Michele. Yep, she'll be right back.
No, I don't wanna, no.
We could
Sorry.
turn them down. Think we could turn them down? We could just see if we can turn them down a little bit. Paul, is that okay if we turn the lights down a little bit? Will that interfere at all with the camera?
Sorry.
Thanks, Paul.
Don't apologize. There's something you can
I was gonna say we could try to go to the next thing, but we can't.
I did, I chugged a whole bottle when I was back there.
Thank you. A little better. Thanks, Paul.
That was so weird, everything turned orange. That's why I was like, there's colors. Like, everything turned orange, and I was like,
do. God.
it makes my heart race.
Right. No, I could see
That's why I sent Dave.
It's panic, yeah.
That's what I said.
That's better, thank you.
one another water.
Oh, thank you.
Yep, great.
Yeah, turn your monitor
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
too. I don't
That's a
even
good
need
point.
that.
Yeah, we can see it right here. All right, I think we're good. All right,
All right.
Mr. Freeman.
First up is the February Treasurers Report. February being the shortest month of the year, there isn't much going on financially as well. Just want to point out, we're still getting a lot of investments from banks, even though interest rates have trickled down a lot. A lot of banks are interested in our investments, so you'll see that as part of this month's Treasurers Report.
Questions? With that, a motion to approve the February 2025 Treasurers Report as presented. So move Linda, second Maria, all in favor? Aye.
All right, next up is the formal resolution to adopt the 25-26 Webster Central School District budget and bus purchase propositions as outlined.
Good?
Yeah.
Questions? Okay, sorry.
Question? Yeah?
Two separate propositions, or?
There are 2 separate, yeah.
Yes, two separate.
A motion to approve the budget adoption resolution. So moved Maria, second Linda, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Next up is the property tax report card and budget notice. These are the formal, how the state would like us to submit our budget and property tax information. So this gets uploaded to the state system and submitted, and then it'll be put on our website and as part of the newsletter as well. So you see they're very similar, but slightly different in a couple spots. It's duplicative information, and a majority of it about the budget and the property tax cap.
Questions? Okay, motion to approve the property tax report card and the budget notice adoption. So moved Linda, second Michele, all in favor? Aye.
Next up is, actually, our robust audit committee got a presentation from our internal auditors at Bonadeo. And they did 2 things. They presented our extra class audit that they did for the district and those findings. And then they also updated the yearly risk assessment. And then we had a discussion about what they're going to audit next for the district. And so what we have to approve is the corrective action plan that's outlined of what we're going to do to try to assist the student and club liaisons to improve their paperwork for the extra classroom funds.
Questions? No? Okay. Motion to approve the internal audit risk assessment and fieldwork audit approval with corrective action. So moved Maria, second Linda, all in favor? Aye.
Next up is the Monroe One BOCES annual election. We kind of talked about this a few months ago, kind of gave you a heads up a little bit about the BOCES process. Attached is their preliminary budget booklet that describes in detail what their administrative budget is. Remember, we are 19% of the BOCES budget as the largest Monroe 1 district. So information is all there, and then also the information to for the new candidates for the seats representing Rush Henrietta, Pittsford, and East Rochester. Those are the ones that are up. So we actually have that resolution attached as well.
Do we have to do these separately?
We do have to do them separately. I apologize. So we gotta vote and approve seat 1, seat 2, seat 3, and then vote to approve the administrative budget as well.
You have it down as the budget first, right?
The budget is
Yeah.
first, yeah.
Budget's first.
Okay. Oh, God.
Can you want me to read it?
No, I'll do the shortened version. Motion to vote to approve the proposed BOCES 25-26 fiscal year budget. Maria, second. Linda, all in favor? Aye.
Great.
Motion to approve seat number 1, Brian, Rush Henrietta. Motion, so moved. Linda, second. Michele, all in favor? Aye. Motion to approve seat number 2, which is Pittsford, Kim McCluskey. So moved. Maria, second. Michele, all in favor? Aye. And then motion to approve seat number 3, Rebecca Hicks, East Rochester. So moved. Michele, second. Maria, all in favor? Aye. Okay.
All right, Brad.
All right, next up is probably the lengthiest of all resolutions, but well, I'll give you the shortened version. In essence, Monroe County Water Authority, since Willink has been built, has an easement onto our property for the fire hydrant. For those of you that have pulled into the loop, fire hydrant's right there. With the construction, that whole thing has to move. So the easement has to move with it, and when that happens, we need an official resolution granting Monroe County Water Authority that new portion of our property to have access to, since that's changing. So that is in essence what we're approving. I put the map on there for just to show you what's get relocated, and then there's some state environmental paperwork that we'll have to sign off on, as well as the contract paperwork that's uploaded that I'll sign off on to send to the Monroe County Water Authority.
Questions? Okay. Motion to approve the Monroe County Water Authority resolution. So moved. Michele, second. Linda, all in favor?
Aye.
And then last but not least, the district was had a wonderful donation from the Alice and Edward Johnson Foundation to the district for $10,000 to be used for our students with disabilities and special education department. So they have been generous with us in the past, so they have an account already established. So this will go into that and be spent on what they have outlined and intended for.
Motion to approve the Johnson Foundation donation. So moved. Maria, second. Michele, all in favor? Aye. Oh, the next one's me. It's a second read of the policy that we read last week, last month, 3311. There are no other changes. Any questions? Awesome. Motion to approve the second reading of proposed new policy 3311. So move. Linda, second. Maria, all in favor? Aye. Thank you. And then Board of Education calendar. It's pretty similar to this year. We'll set our retreats for the summer, especially once the budget and potential new member is added. So motion to approve the first reading of the 25-26 Board of Education calendar and move it forward to a second reading next month. So moved. Michele, second. Linda, all in favor? Aye. Does anybody have any board member highlights?
We can,
That's okay. If you do, you do.
no, let's go.
Okay, thank you. That moves us to the consent agenda. So do I have a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda?
So moved.
So move. Linda, second. Maria, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. That's everything, right?
Yep.
I'm not missing anything? Okay. We will adjourn the meeting just in case I have to step out so that the meeting is adjourned, but everything else is playing on as if we were still in session. So we're not conducting any board business, but we are honoring, we have 6 people, I believe, signed up to speak tonight, so we are honoring that. It is still live streamed and recorded. We're just ending the business portion of the meeting because there's nothing else to be voted on. Okay?
Yep.
Sounds good? Okay, I just want to make sure that everyone's good. All right, thank you. So motion to adjourn the meeting pending the speakers, obviously. So moved. Linda, second. Maria, all in favor? Aye. Okay, so the meeting is officially adjourned. Thank you. I apologize. We will move on to the visitor speaking portion. I just want to explain the light system so that it's clear. As per policy, obviously, we're here, we are going to listen. It's not a dialogue format, but we are here to listen. We want to honor the speakers tonight. Our light system is set up so that you have 4 minutes. It will be green until it's yellow. Yellow indicates 30 seconds. Red indicates that the 4 minutes is up.
Yellow's actually just 1 minute left.
1 minute.
1
Sorry,
minute
that was
left.
30
Yep.
seconds.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. No, that's good.
Just so everybody's clear, so. Heather.
Hello, everyone. My name is Bob Trevette. I'm a U.S. Navy veteran, a member of the American Legion Post 942, and a member of the Post 9483 VFW. I have been a 34-year resident of the Webster Central School District. I am here today in support of a partial school tax break for all veterans who own property in the Webster School District. I started my Navy career in 1984 and was trained as an HVAC specialist technician for all the various environmental and refrigeration equipment on board Navy vessels. The training was also put to good use for 21 years as I worked in the Webster Central School District. Going back to my years in the military, for my first years in the Navy, I was assigned to the USS Navy destroyer Barney, initially deployed in the Mediterranean Sea. After I had a variety of deployments along the U.S. Atlantic and the Gulf of Mexico and the Caribbean Sea, I performed patrols for drug stops that were coming into the United States. My next tour duty was for 4.5 years on the USS John F. Kennedy aircraft carrier. In my first deployment, again, I was on a Mediterranean cruise. When we were rerouted for the Persian Gulf region and spent 1990 and 91 for Desert Shield, Desert Storm operations. Unfortunately, 2 of our pilots lost their lives during that conflict. It's an event I'll never forget. After the Gulf conflict, we returned to the Mediterranean for another 6-month deployment. On the return to Norfolk, Virginia, I injured my back on board ship. Later, I was not fit for duty due to my back problems, eventually given an honorable discharge for medical reasons. Near 10 years of service. Those 10 years I spent away from home and at sea was tough, but I will never forget those memories with my comrades and being proud to have served my country. Veterans bring discipline, their work ethics, and a sense of duty to the communities they live in, and the communities are strong because of them. So I encourage you to consider providing a partial school tax break to approximately 2,000 veteran property owners in the Webster Central School District. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your service.
You're welcome.
Timothy Smith.
thank you for offering me this opportunity to speak to you tonight. I'm Tim Smith. I'm a Army Vietnam veteran, and I'm a member of the Greece American Legion Post Force 68, and also the Greece VFW Post 4658. Excuse me, I gotta put my glasses on. Because the amended 2013 New York State Real Property Tax Law, Section 458, did not mandate the partial school tax break for veterans, we are here today to petition this Board of Education to provide this benefit to the 2,000-plus veteran property owners in the Webster School District. Who are these men and women veterans who left their homes and families and risked their lives for our country, which kept all of our safer and our schools open to all? Webster has branches from the military, all branches, Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, and the Coast Guard. Many of these veterans have seen action even from Korea, Vietnam, the Persian Gulf, Iraq, Afghanistan, and other foreign lands. They're basically world travelers. Sitting in the audience today, we have veterans from the Webster American Legion Post 942 and your Webster VFW Post 943, and from other Legion and VFW posts in Monroe County. They all came here today to support their fellow veterans in the Webster Central School District. When you say to a veteran, thank you for your service, think of this. No matter what branch of the military these individuals serve with, they're on call 24/7. And when you are called, you hustle. You go where you were told to go. You do what you have been trained to do and beyond. And do not falter or make a mistake, because your hesitation or your mistake could cost the lives of others or yourself. Most veterans carry this code of action and responsibility for the rest of their lives. Their time in service had left many veterans and their families struggling to make ends meet in today's demanding economy. The majority are on fixed incomes. Nationwide, over 5.5 million veterans have service-connected disability, and there are many surviving spouses of those who have died for our country. There are still over 15,000 veteran property owners in Monroe County, spread over 18 school districts, who still do not receive a partial school tax break. No matter what war or conflict they fought in, or whether they were in actual combat or support roles, all veterans deserve our respect and appreciation for their sacrifices in serving our country. The least we can do is advocate for as many benefits that can be made available to them, such as a partial school tax break. Please consider this request. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you. Thank you for your service.
Greg Tower.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Craig Tower, and I've been a Webster resident and school taxpayer for 27 years. I was a Navy Cold War veteran. I served on board 2 ballistic missile submarines during my 12.5-year period in the service. I'm an active member of American Legion Webster Post 942, and I'm the incoming commander for VFW Webster Post 9483. Pursuant to the expanded 2013 New York State Real Property Tax Law, Section 458-1, I am petitioning the Webster Central School District Board of Education to put on their agenda and allow, along with a public hearing, this issue to provide an exemption on school taxes to all qualified veterans residing in the Webster School District. These exemptions, these exemptions would follow the identical and published New York State Monroe County guidelines for Monroe and County veteran tax breaks. Currently, there's about 50% of New York State school districts have adopted the veteran school tax exemption. In Monroe County, just 5 districts have adopted it. Greece, Gates Chili, Brockport, Caledonia Mumford, and the city of Rochester. Webster will be number 6, we hope. It is understood that this veteran school exemption will potentially have a small impact on non-veteran property owners and some veteran property owners. However, the issue is not a veteran versus non-veteran debate. Every year, the school board, when developing a budget of hundreds of millions of dollars, has numerous complex issues to consider and must understand how they affect all property owners. It's not an easy task, I agree. Consider that about 50% of the Webster veterans that would qualify, about 2,000, are over 70. 30% are over 55, and hopefully looking forward to retirement in the future, like myself. These tax breaks will help the senior citizens with fixed incomes, those with disabilities, and also their surviving spouses with their household budgets. These exemptions are only a partial tax reduction for combat veterans, men and women, who qualify and served in World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Iraq, Afghanistan, the Middle East, and other qualifying foreign conflicts. They left their homes, their families, to risk their lives and serve our country. They deserve our respect with their sacrifice and service. What better way to show our appreciation? To combat veterans, their families, and widows than to pass this exemption in Webster. Thank you.
Lane?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Lane Corson. I am a Vietnam War veteran, past commander of Webster VFW Post 9483, member of Webster American Legion 942, and a Webster taxpayer for over 25 years. Today, I want to speak about a simple but powerful way to show gratitude to the men and women who served our country by granting a veteran's partial school tax break. Our veterans have made tremendous sacrifices, leaving their families, putting their lives on the line, and often returning home with visible and invisible wounds. They upheld our freedoms, our safety, our way of life. And when they return, they deserve more than just a thank you. They deserve a tangible support. A school tax break would ease the financial burden of many veterans face, especially those on fixed income. With raising property taxes and high cost of living, many struggle just to stay in their homes. This relief can make a difference between stability and hardship. Some may argue that school tax fund education, and they do, and should continue to do so. But we must remember, veterans have already paid more than their fair share, not just in taxes, but in service and sacrifice. Offering them a modest break isn't about shifting the burden, it's about recognizing the debt. This is not just policy, it's about values. It's about honoring our commitments, showing compassion, and building a community where no veteran is left behind. It is a small but significant way to express appreciation for their service, and I am confident that it would make, would be a welcome by veterans and their families as well as the broader community. Let us do the right thing. Let us support our veterans, not just in words, but in actions. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for your service.
You're welcome.
Quan. And I wasn't going to.
She admitted it too. So, hi everyone on the school board. Thank you for having us here tonight. My name is Kwan Koambani. I'm here today to address the Webster School Board about the veteran school benefits for my fellow veterans. I've actually lived in Webster, New York, and paid taxes for the last 8 years. Prior was Gates, but I've served in the United States Air Force for 10 years. I served in Iraq, Afghanistan, Bahrain, Qatar, Kurdistan, Japan, and also Alaska within the United States. During my service, I also worked locally as a Monroe County Sheriff for 10 years as well. Currently, I'm on the executive board of the Webster American Legion Post 942, the VFW Executive Board Post 9483, and the Monroe County Legion County Board, and also my son's Woodside Nursery School Board on Clem Road. I'm 100% disabled on a fixed income. I'm here to ask for support for helping all of us veterans with school tax benefits for years to come. I hope us being here today shows our commitment to our community, future, and Americanism. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your service.
First of all, I'd like to thank the school board for allowing us to speak, as many of us have already said. My name is Dan McDonald. I'm a 6.5-year Marine Corps veteran. I'm a taxpayer here. I live at the Webster School District for the last 15 years, and my son actually graduated from Schrader and went in the Marine Corps and served 5 years. I don't want to rehash my time of service, as many of us have had, and I want to keep mine brief. We all know we would like to see the tax break, as many of our veterans are disabled or on fixed income. But what I do want to say, and I'm going to keep this short, we all served all over the country. Some of us didn't even ask to go, we were forced to go, but we were never asked to go anywhere. We did it. We didn't protect just Democrats, Republicans, liberals, conservatives, but we protected everybody. We never carried a political view. It didn't matter. So with that being said, I know you will all catch flack from some people if we get a break, as I've been involved with the political system in New York State getting laws passed for veterans, and there's always kickback. And I know you probably have all had to stand in an election and take an oath. But with that being said, what's the worst case scenario that the oath you took versus the oath that these men and women took? Please show us the courage that these men and women showed you and pass this. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for your service.
Again, thank you so much, all of you, for your service. I apologize if it seemed rushed, but we really did want to make sure we got through all of this tonight. So thank you so much for your patience, for your service, and have a great evening.